San Diegans accomplish great things every day. We care about our neighbors and our community. We are proud of our diversity. We are resilient. We hold our leaders accountable. We live in one of the most dynamic cities in America, the San Diego Union-Tribune, telling San Diego's story for more than 150 years.
Hi, my name is Victoria Chang, and I am a poet and writer, and I'm welcoming you to the San Diego Union-Tribune Festival of Books. And today I will be reading from this book. Make sure you can see it. It's called OBIT, and it's published by Copper Canyon Press, and it is my 5th book of poems. And I will just introduce a little bit about the book. My mother passed away in 2015, and I was trying really hard not to write traditional elegies because I didn't feel like they worked for my particular situation. And one day I was listening to NPR on the radio while I was driving, and they were talking about a documentary called OBIT, and it was all about obituary writers. It was a documentary about obituary writers, and therefore something triggered in my head, and I went home and wrote about 70 of these poems in a 2-week period, and basically everything dies in them, and they look like little obituaries like this, newspaper obituaries. So the other little piece of information you may need to know or might want to know is that my father is a little bit of a ghost thread throughout these poems. He suffered from a stroke maybe about 13 years ago and lost his ability to communicate. So he's runs through some of these poems. So I will start by reading, maybe I'll just read the first poem in this book. My father's frontal lobe died unpeacefully of a stroke on June 24th, 2009 at Scripps Memorial Hospital in San Diego, California. Born January 20th, 1940, the frontal lobe enjoyed a good life. The frontal lobe loved being the boss. It tried to talk again, but someone put a bag over it. When the frontal lobe died, it sucked in its lips like a window pulled shut. At the funeral for his words, my father wouldn't stop talking, and his love passed through me, fell onto the ground that wasn't there. I could hear someone stomping their feet. The body is as confusing as language. Was the frontal lobe having a tantrum or dancing? When I took my father's phone away, his words died in the plastic coffin. At the funeral for his words, we argued about my miscarriage. It's not really a baby, he said. I ran out of words, stomped out to shake the dead baby awake. I thought of the tech who put the wand down, quietly left the room when she couldn't find the heartbeat. I understood then that darkness is falling without an end, that darkness is not the absorption of color, but the absorption of language. This one is called My Mother's Teeth. My mother had dentures. My mother's teeth died twice, once in 1965, all pulled out from gum disease, once again on August 3rd, 2015. The fake teeth sit in a box in the garage. When she died, I touched them, smelled them, thought I heard a whimper. I shoved the teeth into my mouth, but having 2 sets of teeth only made me hungrier. When my mother died, I saw myself in the mirror, her words around my mouth like powder from a donut. Her last words were in English. She asked for a Sprite. I wonder whether her last thought was in Chinese. I wonder what her last thought was. I used to think that a dead person's words die with them. Now I know that they scatter, looking for meaning to attach to, like a scent. My mother used to collect orange blossoms in a small, shallow bowl. I passed the tree each spring. I always knew that grief was something I could smell. but I didn't know that it's not actually a noun, but a verb, that it moves. So after I wrote about 70 of these, I stopped writing for a while, and I wrote a whole bunch of formal poems, sonnets, sestinas, and various things like villanelles, and ended up discarding all of those, but kept a bunch of the Tonkas in this book. And they're like haiku, but they're just a tad longer. So it's five, instead of 575, it's 57577. So they're 31 syllables, and I put 2 on each page, and they kind of interrupt the obituaries, and are to my children and children in general. So I'll read maybe 2 sets of these, so 4 of these. I tell my children that hope is like a blue skirt. It can twirl and twirl, that men like to open it, take it apart, and wound it. I tell my children that sometimes I too can hope, that sometimes nothing moves but my love for someone and the light from the dead star. I'll read 2 more of these. Do you see the tree? Its secrets grow as lemons. Sometimes I pretend I love my children more than words. No one knows this but words. My children, children, today my hands are dreaming as they touch your hair. Your hair turns into winter. When I die, your hair will snow. Maybe I'll end by reading 2 more of these obituaries. This one is called Blame. Blame wants to die but cannot. Its hair is untidy, but it's always here. My mother blamed my father. I blamed my father's dementia. My father blamed my mother's lack of exercise. My father is the story, not the storyteller. I eventually blamed my father because the story kept on trying to become the storyteller. Blame has no face. I've walked on its staircase around and around, trying to slap its face, but only hitting my own cheeks. When some people suffer, they want to tell everyone about their suffering. When the brush hits a knot, the child cries out loud, makes a noise that is an expression of pain, but not the pain itself. I can't feel the child's pain, but some echo of her pain based on my imagination. Blame is just an echo of pain, a veil across the face of the one you blame. I blame God. I want to complain to the boss of God about God. What if the boss of God is rain, and the only way to speak to rain is to open your mouth to the sky and drown? And I'll read one more, which is the penultimate poem in the book, and it was written as a prompt. So Terrain.org's editor asked me to write an epistolary poem, which is a letter poem to America for his series of epistolary pieces for that magazine. And this one refers to the Marjorie Stoneman shooting in Florida. America. America died on February 14, 2018, and my dead mother doesn't know. Since her death, America has died a series of small deaths, each one less precise than the next. My tears are now shaped like hooks, but my heart is damp still. If it is lucky, it is in the middle of its beats. The unlucky dead children hold telegrams they must hand to a woman at a desk. The woman will collect their belongings in shadows. My dead mother asks each of these children if they know me, have seen me, how tall my children are now. They will tell her that they once lived in Florida, not California. She will see the child with the hole in his head. She will blow the dreams out of the hole like dust. I used to think death was a kind of anesthesia. Now I imagine long lines, my mother taking in all the children. I imagine her touching their hair, how she might tickle their knees to make them laugh. The dead hold the other half of our ticket. The dead are an image of wind, and when they comb their hair, our trees rustle. Thank you. So you can buy this book at bookshop.org, and you'll see it at the bottom of the screen. And the press that published this, just for your knowledge, is Copper Canyon Press, which is a poetry-only publisher in America. Thanks for watching. And again, I'm Victoria Chang, and hope you enjoy the Festival of Books.
Headlines are everywhere, all day. But for the complete story, count on NBC7 to keep you up to date.
Taking a look at what happens for you folks on the Inland Valley.
And as stories change, our commitment is constant. NBC7 is coverage you count on.
Hello, I'm Jose Cruz. I'm the CEO for the San Diego Council on Literacy. We work with a network of 29 youth, adult, and family literacy programs that annually serve 160,000 residents of all ages at no cost. Our mission is to unite the community to support literacy. It's an exciting year for us. It's our 35th anniversary. It's also the 5th anniversary of the San Diego Union-Tribune Festival of Books. The San Diego Council on Literacy is a beneficiary of this event. So when you participate, you support literacy, especially through the author panels. And just in general. So when you participate in this event, you also make it possible for another person, a child or an adult, to improve their reading and writing skills so they can read the books that you read. We have our favorite event activities. We like the Storytime Hour, and you probably have your favorites too. So we hope that you'll join us at the San Diego Union-Tribune Festival of Books and learn more too about the work of the San Diego Council on Literacy by going to literacysandiego.org. Thank you.